Hi, my name is Beth Douglas. I'm a senior at Princeton Theological Seminary, and I'm so excited to be your intern for this school year. So I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, and I'm pursuing ordination with the Seattle Presbytery. So unfortunately, because of COVID-19, this internship is entirely virtual, which is strange. I was really looking forward to meeting people in person, but I am excited for the ways that we can still worship together virtually, online, through social media, and through different Zoom Bible studies and events. So with this being my first Sunday, I've been asked to share a little bit about myself and my faith journey. So I was raised in a Christian home, and I told my mom that I wanted to become a Christian around age 3. So faith has been something that's been important to me for a while, but obviously my faith is very different now than it was when I was 3. So as I was growing up, one of the things that I was very aware of is this idea that God doesn't have grandchildren, only children. And I didn't want to believe in God just because everyone around me did and it mattered to my family. I wanted my faith to be real and personal for me. And when that really happened in a big way for me was when I went to college. I minored in Christian scriptures, and for me, one of the big metaphors that my professors used that was really meaningful was the idea that our faith is like a house. So they wanted us to understand the foundation upon which our faith was built, what goes into that foundation, how we came to believe what we did about God, and to also understand the materials, the building blocks of our faith and our Christian formation. And in particular, their idea was if there were cracks in our faith or things that were brittle and could easily be knocked over by the storms and trials of life that we all face, that we would be able to identify that and to be able to build that back up with a stronger and more resilient foundation and materials. So I didn't imagine in college that I would be wanting to go into full-time ministry. I love writing and storytelling, and I've always wanted to be a writer. So I majored in journalism, and I worked for 3 years in Seattle's tech industry before then switching to go work at Christian nonprofits. And I loved being at the Christian organizations, but I noticed the longer I was there that I didn't always like just being the one writing stories about ministry that was going on. I wanted to be there in the center of the action, getting to take part in ministry, not just interviewing people and writing stories about their experiences in ministry. So I started to pray and to ask God if ministry might be something that I was called to, but I didn't get a sense of clarity or confirmation from God for a number of years. And in hindsight, I am really glad that I waited for God's timing instead of moving forward in the timing that I thought would be best for me. So about 2 years before I came to Princeton Seminary, I went through a pretty intense time of spiritual questioning and doubt. I was just encountering some of the very real, tough realities and hard truths of life in a level that I hadn't yet, and it threw me for a loop. Through this process of wrestling, I was able to bring my doubts and anxieties and fear and anger before God, and to know that I wasn't a bad Christian. I didn't have to feel like a bad Christian, that I had questions and that I wasn't 100% certain all the time, and to know that I didn't have to have hope or positivity at the end of every experience, and I didn't have to rush to that sense. So having gone through this season of doubt and anxiety and being able to sit authentically in that, doubt is now one of my favorite parts of faith. And I'm really grateful to be out of that season and to be on the other side and to just be feeling this very authentic hope, but being able to be in the midst of that questioning was really powerful for me. It wasn't until after I'd been through the season of doubt that God opened up the doors for me to go to seminary. So everything fell into place for me to go to Princeton, and these past 2 years I've learned and grown and been challenged in really important ways. So as I go into my final year of school, I'm excited to get to be spending this time with you, to be interning, to be seeing how God is at work in the FPC Morristown community, and to learn from all that God has been teaching you and doing through your lives in ministry. So thank you, and I'm excited to get to know you more.